The following video has been approved by the JD marketing team. The video has been rated JD. The following video may not be suitable for all viewers. Good morning and g'day, mate. Welcome back to Dyson Sphere with me, JD. Today's plan, today's objective is 1, turn on the lights. 2 is I want to get accumulators up and running. I really want to get accumulators up and running. They require iron, plus they require weird magnetic thingy-majiggy bobs, which were tying back to our engine issue. That now we're importing iron, we should hopefully have fixed. They also require these crystal things right here. So I want to build those, and I want to build them basically right here, because those crystal things don't go onto the bus. On top of that, the other thing I really want to get done this episode is I want to hook up the last of our oil. So this one plus the other two we've got in the bus, and probably the old oil as well, into our refineries to get them running at full speed, because they're going to be the solution to many of our power problems. On top of that, now that we're now an interplanetary nation, civilization, robot, whatever. Now we have warpers up and running. I do want to obviously start producing warpers faster. We have got 2 little assemblers there working currently. I'd like to update that a little, probably do that one off camera because it's just going to throw some more assemblers in it. Problem. But no, whatever. The other thing I want to do is I want to set up some shipments so we have everything at our fingertips, literally. So first things first, let's start with an assembly machine. Right, oh, actually, let's start with the belts. So we need iron, which luckily we have right here for assembly machines, which will just run that belt to there. And then we require these blue things, which now that the belt's full, so I'm assuming that means we have fixed our iron problem. So with that out of the way, we should be able to dump an assembler there with a belt down to there, and this should be one of the quickest builds ever, because there's really not that much to it. It's 3 items in, 1 item out. We set that to accumulators. We grab our sorters. We have input, output. Grab that. Press the button so we can just drag it out. Got a lot of things. Throw in some power poles. 1 there and 1 there. And then that should hopefully, in theory, make us some wonderful accumulators. Yep, there's definitely some accumulators on the belt. Accumulators. Okay, so the way these guys work is if we just dump them down anywhere, they will plug into the network, and what they'll do is they'll charge up when we have excess power, and when we don't have excess power, they'll discharge back in the network. So the idea is they're going to stabilize our power network a little bit. But I actually need, as I said, I need 20 of those per orbital collector, because I also want to get those up and running this episode. So we got a lot of things that we want to try and get done. But it means I need to mass charge these. Now, I can just pick them up and throw them on the ground and wait quite some time for them to fully charge, because they charge at 600 kilowatts, which will take some time. My other option is we're going to put down a splitter like that. We're going to go to transportation. We can put down energy exchanges. Now, energy exchanges, I guess they do what says on the title. They exchange energy. Okay, what these guys do is they can either discharge a full accumulator into an empty accumulator, so you can take your full accumulator, dump the power onto the grid, or they can charge your accumulators. So if we swap that to there, we'll see the graphics changes, and on top of that, they fill up so they have enough that when we run an accumulator in there, like those ones, they charge super fast. As we can see, a good significant chunk of our grid is suddenly being used in charging these bad boys up. So what I want to do is I want to run that belt into there, that belt in there, copy, paste, and then run the belts out. And for right now, we will just put in a storage box, say there, and we'll dump those in there. Now, next thing we might as well, because it's in the same neighborhood, is yes, we have a whole bunch of these gravitational lenses. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to extend the build. Because we can, and because they're extremely slow to craft. 1, 2, 3. We'll just drag that out. We'll throw in a assembly machine there. Now, I'm probably going to run into a situation where I can't fit things between the belts anymore. So we'll signify that as our maximum build length. Can I get a second one, please? Tab to remove the sorters. We're going to have you input on that side and output on that side. And yeah. Put one there, put one there, put one there. Nope. Oh yeah, yeah. He's got super tight, super tight. Okay. That's looks like all we're going to be able to fit in, but that's fine. That's fine. That's more production than we had 5 minutes ago. Okay, and then I want to put down a little tower like this. We're going to run that belt in there, that belt across there to join that. We're going to set you to be those, and I will dump all of those into there along with your 50 ships and re-give you power. And we're good to go. At the same time, now that that's done, we'll run accumulators into obviously that slot. And I want you to have, no, not copper, buildings, fully charged accumulators. Okay. Which means, actually, we'll just pick up the box and throw them straight in. You know what? I'm going to take them with us. Okay, so that's our first mission done. Are you guys charged? Yeah, you guys are fully charged. We'll take those two with us as well. Alright, so that's the first thing I want to do. Second thing I want to do, and I'm going to do this one off camera because it's not something you guys need to see. It's going to involve some spaghetti. Is previously we set up this little workshop. Okay, this little workshop gives us like everything. Everything is built here, or almost everything. Good enough. Good enough's close enough. Okay, what I want to do is I want to set up a whole bunch of these interstellar logistic towers. As it now that we are a warp-capable robot army, I guess, I want to set these guys up, and I want to put in like the power poles and the wind turbines and thermal power stations and miners and smelters and all the basics, so I can request them in from other planets. At the same time, I'm also going to have to bring our charge accumulators across here to start making these guys, because I need a whole bunch of orbital collectors, because we have a lovely gas giant right here, which has another rare resource that we'd like to get our hands on, being fire ice, because fire ice means that we can now produce graphene without the extra hassle of having to pump sulfuric acid and coal into it. Also, we're going to have to, that's the other thing I have to do, I have to set up the carbon nanotubes. So, we're going to, well, I'm going to set this up, and we'll be back in a sec. And welcome back. Now, we don't have quite everything set up, but I do want to go through this process at least once for you guys. So, what I actually have here, a little bit of a weird station, but it demonstrates the principle. So, what we're doing is we're importing belts, sorters, assembler Mark 1s, because that unlocks quantum chips. Quantum chips are required for that research, which is one away. We're going to do... Yeah, we're not going to do that one first. We're going to do that one first. Okay, quantum chips unlocks the next level of assembly machine, and then we're going to need the gravity matrix, which is our green level science. And... yeah. We're all out of research, I think. Yeah, everything requires green at this point. Oh, we get some research speed. Sure, why not? Okay. So we have one of these here, and I need to import all the things I'd like. So I'd obviously like some Mark III belts. Mark III conveyor belts. So we'll output that to there. And this is literally just going to fill up this machine. Oh, well, this tower. It's just going to fill up this tower. Now, currently this tower has nothing in it. We do need to add some U-boot spaceships. I'm also going to need some warpers in here, which we'll get in just a second. We also need to add sorters, which are going to come from that box over there. And I also need, for the moment, because this is my compromise, some Mark I assembly machines. I don't need those long term. Long term we'll go to Mark III assembly machines, but for right now we'll just use the Mark Is, because yeah, well, we covered I don't like the Mark IIs, not for their power consumption. They're not really worth it. And then we need a sorter. Whoops, there, and yeah, power network's dead again. It's about to get a whole lot worse. Okay, so as we can see, we have, and I'll even throw 3 little robots in. So we're going to have 10,000 belt. I honestly want 10,000 belt in stock. We want 10,000 sorters, because I honestly want 10,000 sorters. The assembly machine one's just 100. Okay, I've actually lowered the max all the way down to just 100. The splitter, we want 100. But splitters, if you remember, we made all the way over here. So they won't get here. Along with, I really want some foundations as well, but foundations are made all the way over here. So we have a few logistical hassles we need to handle in just a second. And the way I'm going to handle these two, at least, is I have a local demand, which means the little logistics drones will fly out and find it and bring it here if it's possible. And we have a remote supply, which means the bigger ships will fly them out interplanetary if required. Now, what I need to do is I need to put a power pole there and power that up, which is going to make the power network even less happy. And I did say I needed warp cores, right? Well, the good news is we have almost 1,000 in here. You're not running because you don't have strange matter. Strange matter's been pink things. Pink things are missing. Green motors again. Cool. Alright. What I want to do is I'm just going to run a belt. I'm going to run a belt of... Nope, number 1. Of warpers. Now, this is going to have a lot of warpers on the belt. Okay? Realistically, it's not really that much of an issue. Yeah, it really doesn't matter too much. Like, it does mean that a certain percentage of my warpers are going to be stuck on belts not really doing anything, buffered between point A and point B. Is that perfect? No. Will it work? Yes. Okay. So once this belt's done, that should load 50 warpers in here. And then stop. Done. Okay, and the rest of those warpers will just sit there on that belt. In saying that, we used 200. So there's 150 on a belt and 50 in the machine. That's yeah, a little bit higher than what I'd like, but it's okay. It'll work. Now, as for these guys up here, what I've done is I've run all the belts. So all the belts have been shoved into these stations. And as you can see, we have power poles, miners, smelters, thermal power stations, and wind turbines. Now, there's a couple of things I haven't done yet. I haven't obviously put ships in yet. I haven't put warp cores in yet. And on top of that, there's 2 settings here that are very important. So vessels. Vessels are, in my case, technology research, my vessels carry 600 items per trip. So if this is set to 100%, they'll only leave with 600 items. I don't really want them carrying 600 items. I can take that down to 10%, which is 60 items. Also at maximum research, being 1,000 items that a vessel will carry, that's 100 at a time, or you can set it all the way down to 1%. Now, because I'm not filthy rich and I don't have a whole lot of warpers, I'm going to set it to 10%, and maybe later, when we're filthy rich and have all the warp cores in the world, we can bring that down to 1%, and that way have less overflow when we request things at the other end, but on the flip side, have more, you know, we're going to use more warpers. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to do. I want to set all of these down to 10%. And basically, I've just run everything into its own stations. So, you know, we have the logistic stations, the little ones, plus we have the big ones, plus we have the orbital collectors. The orbital collectors, there are none because they're not getting accumulators yet, so we still need to fix that problem. We have logistics drones, the bigger vessels, so on and so forth, you know, storage, labs, fractionators, the energy exchanger, all the chemical stuff. So it's, you know, tanks and chem plants and all that sort of stuff. The bare basics, assemblers are of course on the other side with the belts. The only thing that I didn't manage to ship out was the ray receiver. Okay, ray receivers are not shipped out. In saying that, I probably need to produce the EM rail ejector, which we're not doing yet, and also the vertical launching silo. And I'm willing to bet I'm going to find another 1 or 2 things that I need to ship out as well. So we definitely have room for expansion to add another tower. Now, I do need to power these guys up, which is going to be horrible for the poor little base. The base is currently complaining that it's at 90% satisfaction. If I add a power pole there, a power pole there, a power pole there, and you're going to need 2 power poles from the looks of it. Lack of item. Okay, let's open that one up. Just grab 1 power pole out. And we're now at 50% satisfaction. In saying that, it's only once these guys are charging. Once they're fully charged, we shouldn't have a problem. I do need to take out like 40 of them. Because you're going to need 10. You're going to need 10. You're going to need 10. And... oop, I've already done that one. That one I haven't done. Okay, you need 10 as well. On top of that, I have 1 more station over here in the corner. Okay, it is going to actually bring in our space walkers. Can I have another one of those, please? So this station is going to bring in our space warpers, and it's going to require itty bitty mini drones, which are going to be in that one. We'll have a stack of 50, please, and I'm doing that by right-clicking on it and then dragging my mouse till I have the exact amount, so I can dump them in there. And we need to run warpers into all these planetary stations. I really want warpers in all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a belt, set that to number 1, being warpers, and I want to run it into that station. Okay, and we'll see, this will fill up to 50. Excellent. And then I want to bring warpers back out, and this is the key part. And I want item number 6, because, you know, we can filter what items come out. And we have item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and warpers are item 6. So as long as you are set to filter number 6, we can daisy chain our warpers in and out. Which means if I run this belt around the back and in there, that'll bring warpers to there. We set that one to 6 as well. I could run warpers into there, and then set you to 6 as well. We can run warpers out to there, and I'm about to run out of power. Woohoo! Alright, so that is going to cost us a bunch of warpers. We're going to have warpers sitting on belts, plus we're going to have 50, 100, 150, 200 sitting in these different towers. But as you can see, we are having new warpers being delivered. The other thing I need at this end is going to be the accumulators full. We're going to set a demand. I probably don't want 10,000. 400 seems reasonable. Can we just grab some fuel there? It's literally right there. Alright. And... oh, I need belt. Okay, so... the other advantage of putting everything in towers means I can now press the M button to go out to map view, scroll around the map and say, I would like a 1900 belt. Again, I'm right clicking on it to split the stack and just picking how much I want, dragging the mouse up and down. But it means I can now pick up stuff from the other side of the map without an issue, because we need to take, no, wrong button. I need to take accumulators number 3, around underneath that belt. One tile too high. And if we follow these belts back, we should... okay, what we're going to do is we're going to remove that belt, and remove that belt. Yeah. Have you go at a high level from there to there. Do not join the two together. You go down to there, and then you go down to there. Then we'll take our accumulator belt and wrap it in underneath where I can't possibly see what's happening. Might make that tree go away. It will. Okay, and then we can do a sorter into there, which once that belt's finished should have that one up and running. Come on, robots. Alright. So that should run the accumulators down around, like, my spaghetti wasn't perfect. I probably could have saved quantum printing research. Okay, so that sets our next assembly machine up and running. I probably could have been a little bit more neat with how I ran my belts. I'm now seeing there's a whole lot of empty space right here. But we're going to put all that to good use in just a second, because what I need to do now... Oh, and I needed to take splitters. That one. Okay. Splitters was the other one I needed to take. We're going to run that up a level. Hold down shift. Up another level. Okay, let's do short little builds. Alright, there to there to there. Can I come down already? No. Okay, so we're going to go over things at that height. And then we'll come down to... That's awkward. Okay, let's move... the warper belt over tile. So I can then grab this belt and run it in there. Alright, and grab the warpers and throw them. Oh, okay, so this one has 218 of 200, so that means I can't throw these warpers back in there. If I set that to storage for just a second, and then I slide the bar up just slightly, I can then throw these guys in and then set the bar back down and set it back to demand, and I can obviously get rid of stuff in my hand. Alright, I want to throw... Come on. Nope. Oh, wrong thing entirely. Actually, no, I don't have many of those. Okay. Alright, so next thing we need to do is I need to... I've already done oil. Okay. We should be, potentially, if you, and you had actual sorters on you. Can I put one there, one there, one there, and one there? Alright. We are running through 30 oil per second, in theory. The belt should be fairly full. So what I want to do is I want to very, very carefully put in a splitter right there and have you run forward, and I want this splitter to prioritize going forward. So we're going to put our oil into everything over here. At the same time, I want to disconnect that belt and have that burn off. Because we're going to take our excess oil now, which is being prioritized to go into the different builds first. I'm going to take everything excess and run it under everything here. And then I want to clear these assembly machines. So that height. Because it's a three-dimensional game. I really want to use the third dimension. Right? Even if other people don't think it's neat, I want to use it. It's part of the game. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to find this particular fault line. We're going to run a belt across here because we're going to build a power plant. And we're going to do that by opening this guy, this guy up. Nope, I didn't want those. I want those, all 60 of them, please. And... Yep, no, actually, put the first one down. Put a sorter into it. Grab some sorters from... like... that many. And I think I can probably cap that at like 2,000. 2,000 still seems like a bit of overkill. Alright, I want to get that to go away. Okay. I want to put one of these here, there. And then we're going to link the two together. And then hopefully I can mass build them like so. Perfect. And this is going to be our great oil burn off. So I want to fluid tank. I want to put a fluid tank. Okay, where can I route those belts? Alright. I have no idea what you are, but you need to go probably there, out of my way. And that's storage tanks. Well, I'm about to end up with a whole bunch of storage tanks in my inventory, whether I like it or not. Alright, that goes there, and then into there, which means I disconnect that one, and I disconnect that one, and that'll give me a whole bunch of storage tanks in my inventory, like I said. Storage tanks. Yeah, just refill the belt real quick, but whilst we've got a chance. Alright, and then I want to put basically giant storage right here, because we're planning on burning off all this light oil. No. Okay. Can we come down the ground? What? Oh. It's on a fault line. Alright. We need to rethink this. Can I build you there? Sure. And then I can bring the belt out and up a tile to get over and down the ground level, and we're going to just stack that as high as we need to. Yep. And that should let us to start burning off our oil. And then if I put another thermal generator there and copy, and yeah, we'll just skip over this part. I'm pretty sure you know how this is going to go. It's going to go like they didn't connect. Yeah, okay. Alright, mod doesn't like it. Alright, I'm going to go do this, and then we'll see you in a bit. Well, with that done, power's now up and running, and we're only using about 50% of the power, which is a good sign. It's a good sign. We're definitely off to a good spot. Now, there's a couple of things. We are production. We are burning, in theory, if everything's running perfect, we're burning 1800 crude oil per second, converting that into 1800 refined oil and into 900 hydrogen. We're a little bit off. I'm going to... It's dark. We're short on a little bit of oil, so it probably means I need to go find a couple more patches and go tap them. We do have... 1, 2... Okay, old oil. Hang on. Old oil, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 5 more that are untapped. So it's not that hard. Just got to go over there and spend the time to tap them. So we're going to do that off camera. But because power's fixed, it means I can move on to the next couple of things. Okay, so first thing I do want to actually do is we have these tanks full of light oil. Refined oil. And we're moving, in theory, 30 items in per second, and in theory, 30 items out per second. But as you can see, occasionally this belt has a gap, and this belt also has a gap for reasons. We're going to put it down to early access, and the game not being quite optimized yet, because in theory with 10, 20, 30, 36,000 refined oil, there should never be a gap. So what we're going to do to combat early access is we're going to run a belt out of there, across there. I gotta line this up. Bring the belt down one tier and into here, and we're gonna have this one prioritized out. So we're gonna take 2 belts out of here to make sure we can now move 60 items per second. I'm going to shove it into this same splitter. So this splitter becomes now a merger. So it's having this one prioritized going in there. It's also having, if I can ever click on the right part of the hitbox, there we go. This one also prioritized going in there to make sure that sulfuric acid comes from off-site. What are these? Organic crystals come from off-site. We're still technically making graphene, and we're still technically making plastic on-site. So, yeah. The little bit of oil that we're using is definitely prioritized. And then we're going to take this belt up. I plugged the wrong belt in. Okay. Up one more. No. No, that belt's in the way, is it? Okay. We shall take it out of here to there, to there. Yeah, I brought across the wrong belt. I was trying to do prep work to make sure these episodes don't go too long. Alright, so we'll run that belt in there. That now moves 60 items per second out of these tanks into these tanks to run fuel. Now, in theory, we're burning through this stuff. And actually, if these guys were running at full speed, i.e. we had 100% draw on the system, this one belt I don't think would be quite fast enough to keep up. We'd probably have to run a second belt and merge it in halfway, but that's a later problem for later JD. Alright, next thing we want to do is we did hook up, we did get all the materials, well, we got the materials we needed for nanotubes, but we haven't actually built a nanotube build using the spiniform, this recipe. So that was something else I wanted to get done this episode. So we're going to grab... Nope. Wrong tower. That tower. All 21 of those. And we're going to get a carbon nanotube build done. So what I want to do is I want to have this belt here be the output belt. Because I want to run the belt up and then loop it back and actually fit it into this belt. So the idea being that the spiniform is first priority, but if we run out of rare resources for some reason, then the stock build running off normal oil can take over. So we're going to run that in there and that in there. So that becomes the in for the spiniform, the out for the nanotubes, and then I want a opposite one, which is going to be out and in. And this thing has a 4-second crafting time for 2 of them, so it's not going to be that fast. And then we're going to use our lovely mods. And hopefully I can build the whole build in one hit. Out of building range. No. But we can get to there. And then we will duplicate that one. Sorry, building range. I forgot about building range. That goes to there. And then we're just going to place in our last couple. And then, of course, hook up our input belt. Oh, lack of item? Oh. Can I please have... Let's cut you back to 1,000 sorters. Can I have, like, yeah, a few hundred sorters, please? That can go in there. We want to go 1, 2, I won't fit 3. Whoop. Actually, just place one there and one there. That's that job done. So I just got to get spiniform in there, which we have this magical tower that's already bringing in lots of rare resources. So we're going to also bring in our spiniform there. And then that's going to be number 3, please. We're going to bring this right the way over, out of the way. And we're going to go to there. We're going to bring it up a tile to there and to there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so only thing we need to do now is power poles. Oh, and actually build half this build. It's fine. Alright. Oh. Power pole goes there. And there. I love the fact that chemical plants have this gap in front of them and you can just throw a power pole in and suddenly everything works. Okay, and maybe apart from the bottom line. The bottom row might not work. Try again, GD. Alright, that power pole can go that one instead. There we go. We'll get there in the end. Alright, and the last project I really like, there was a couple, well, there's a lot of more projects I'd like to fit in, but the last project we're going to get done this episode is an interesting one. So we have this Interstellar station here. Now this Interstellar station is bringing in iron ore. In fact, it's got 10 ships going flat out. And I should restart research. We cannot get any more carrying capacity or any more engine upgrades until we get green sites, which we're researching now. Okay, so we will have shortly. But this guy's struggling. In fact, he does run out of iron every now and then. So I need more iron. On top of that, I actually need more iron on the bus. So to sort of two birds, one stone. First off, we're going to use some big stones. And I'm actually going to make the problem worse. Because, like I said, we need more iron on the bus. So I'm going to bring that belt up over there. And it's the top belt. So the top belt is the one that has the iron ore. The bottom belt will be the smelted belt. Okay, so we're going to plug that in there. That's going to put more iron out. But then I need more iron in. And what we're actually going to do is I'm going to go this one. I'm going to go remote demand. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have any ships anymore at the moment because they're all out getting the spiniform. But what we can do is we can take iron ore out. Gravity matrix. That's the research we wanted. That's the next science pack. And then do that one as well. Take this material out. Oh. That belt's definitely in the way. You know what? It would be easier for me, belt, if you went up a tile right here to here to here. That way you're just out of my way. Cool. Alright. With that done, and that wind turbine can go away as well, we're going to run this belt, which is coming out of our very first, so out of this guy, carrying iron ore, okay, 30 per second, and into the next tower. And the reason we're doing that, what do you collide with? You don't collide with anything. Oh, we've got a fault line. It's alright, fixed. And the reason we're doing that is this will subsidize the amount of iron ore this one has to bring in. Okay, so we're going to be able to bring in more iron ore from this one and shove 60 per second in there. Actually, now I've moved that belt out of the way, we can probably set you for number 4 as well into there. Set you to there. Set you to there for the craziest belt ever. Yes, and then that can go away. Alright, so that actually moved 90 per second. 90 per second from one to the other. Which should alleviate the fact that these ships are always gone and always out of resources. It should, I hope. But unfortunately, we're about to make it a whole lot worse by grabbing one of them. And I'd like to upgrade that and upgrade that. That way I can copy that and put that there. And I have 2 smelters to my name. Okay. We would like... Hang on. We're finished with chem plants, so they can go back in there. And I would like smelters. I would like 29, please. 20. There we go. No. I'd like 27, please. There we go. That's the right amount. Alright. We'll just drop this build right here out of building range. Okay. Oh. Yeah, somebody made a comment that my smelters were not long enough and I can't count. And I tend to agree. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25. It's close to 30, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Please, one belt. One belt. There we go. Alright, that's 30. It's alright. It's alright. We're going to be pulling down the smelters eventually. That's an upcoming episode. I'm not giving away any hints, but yeah. We're going to actually be ripping out all the smelters in the future. Alright, so now that you're being fed by this one with 3 belts into this one, which is now has 1, 2, 3, 4 outgoing belts, you have iron ore, which is the important thing. And me, rather than trying to load balance these 3 belts onto those 4 belts, we're basically just using the Interstellar Logistics Station as a giant, like, buffer, balancer, splitter thing. But yeah, we can now subsidize one with the other. Obviously, it looks like we're short on ships because we're pulling in iron all the time, and it looks like definitely the spinner form is falling behind. So maybe I have to look at a more better permanent solution. Put that there, put that there, put that there. Okay, so the only thing I didn't get to this episode, which I really wanted to get to, and we're just not going to have time, is I did want to start looking at deuterium fuel rods. But now we have green science up and running, which requires the graviton lenses, which we already have being made, and it requires quantum chips, which we have half made. We have quantum chips which require processors, which we're already making, and they require plane filters, which require I pronounce this wrong every time. Casimir crystals, I think it is. They also require plane filters, which require titanium glass, which require. Yeah. So we have a couple new things that we're going to have to make. But all that's going to have to happen in the next episode. For right now, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you've been enjoying these episodes, this series. As always, if you're new here, very much appreciate it if you click the like button and click the subscribe button. And with all that said, now we have some decent iron flowing, which should mean some decent little green engines popping out of that build. Aha! Out of that build here. It means next episode, we're probably not going to go, maybe we'll do a bit of green science and a bit of other projects. But yeah, deuterium fuel rods are very, very high on my list of things I want to do. I also want to go back. Actually, one thing we didn't get to do is we didn't do anything about the gas giant. So we're going to have to do the gas giant still. And I want to look back at Australia's 4 still. I have some special plans for it. And as it's almost out of iron, speaking of being almost out of things, we're getting really low on resources. Yeah. So yeah, as it's almost dried up on iron, I have big plans. I have big plans for this little planet. Anyway, with all that said, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you're enjoying. And next episode, we'll go conquer a gas giant. Alright, that's it. I'm out. Bye.